Hi, and welcome to the next episode of Josefine Meets. And today I have a fantastic guest. I have Dr. Hynd with me here today. Hi.
Hi. So good
It's
to be with you today.
Yeah, it's so lovely to have you here too. And the topic we're going to talk about today could be like really deep, but we'll try to keep it light anyways, because it depends a little bit on what one have experienced and whatnot. But the topic that we're going to look into today is how to release the past to actually move into the future. But before we go into that topic, I see we have a couple of people live with us here already. So please add your chats. Hi, Christine. So happy to have you here. We want this to be a very interactive session. So please just ask your questions if you have any questions and let them come to us. But before we start with the topic, before we start answering any questions, please, Dr. Hynd, give us a little bit of background about who you are and what it is that you do.
Amazing. So honored to be with you. Thank you for having me, Josefine. Thank you. Hello, everyone, all your community. I'm honored and delighted to be here this afternoon with you. So I help women become great leaders and be empowered by creating wealth and making an impact. So I work with women entrepreneurs, women executives, women wanting to change their life, wanting to up-level their lives, wanting to be a powerful leader or a star for that matter. So I work with different ranges and we work on changing their life. So I started as an engineer, and then I did my PhD at Harvard in environmental engineering. So sustainability, that was my field. And right after my PhD, I joined the World Bank in Washington, and I was working on development, on projects to alleviate poverty, to set up strategies to help countries develop, to have their economic growth, and also have a long-lasting impact with sustainability in every step. And so I spent 20 years working on strategy. After the World Bank, I joined the Prime Minister's office. Then I moved to finance and working with a sovereign fund before becoming an entrepreneur. So actually, I have 20 years of strategy, of development, of finance, of investment. And it has been 3 years now that I will say elevated, because it's not about shifting, but it's more understanding that the power actually reside in each one of us, each one of you watching us and listening to us. And this is why I'm focusing completely in empowering women and in helping them really unleash that incredible leader in them, so that they can follow their dream, they can attract the wealth as they wanted to have, and they can also be a channel for that, so that they can make an impact around them in their community and in the world. So that's me.
In a nutshell. But what I wanted to exactly, like loads of things happening.
And I'm a mom of 4, so I have 4 children between 6 and 16. So between all of that, I'm having a fun time.
Exactly. And what I wanted to pick up on, because I assume then that you come also, like I did, from a very analytical part of the world, where we were like so focused on getting it step by step by step, and all of a sudden now you're working way more with soft values.
Yeah.
How was that transition for you, and what did you need to do?
Amazing.
What did you need to unlearn?
Well, it's not, I love the way you say it. I see it differently in my word of leadership, with empathy, the leadership we work on. It's really, I grew up with a very anchored masculine paradigm, which is working hard, doing, I majored in mathematics and physics and science, and that required spending hours working on, the exercises. And it's just like, the more you do, the better it is, because to get into the engineering schools is actually very competitive and selective exams and competitions. So it has been, I think I've been programmed to really work hard and be so detail oriented and understanding, and have a scientific mind in everything I do. And I didn't learn that, but I think what I had something special about me is I played piano all through. So although I was very into doing, I was also in the enjoyment of playing music. And it's only now that I realize it's probably that what helped me find a balance and be able to enjoy every step of my journey. Because as an engineer, my dream was to go to Harvard and to go study in places where the best, whatever it is, that's how it was showcased in movies at my time. And so I did that. And I always have um, the focus on, what is the impact, how can, whatever I do, how does it change people's life. So the mission of development is actually anchored in me from early on. And I think the softness of being has always been there, because to me, I always made sense of why I was working hard. I was working hard because I believed in a world free of poverty. I was working hard because I believed in helping countries develop. And I was working hard because I always knew that with the right strategies, we can change, we can connect the world from, the southern part of the hemisphere to the northern one that is more advanced. And this way we can reach a global advancement and create opportunities everywhere. So that mission has been with me. But the only difference now is that I understand more and I am more in touch with the importance of a person. And people are the one who make organizations thrive, are the one who make governments thrive. And self-development and the person understanding and embodiment of both that very tough masculine energy of working and the softer skills, as you put it, which I see it as the feminine energy. And these combinations are the one that makes any leader stand out, that makes leader lead with a lot of empathy, is having both. We need the excellence. We need the excellence that comes with the hard work, with the really details, the scientific mind, and we need the softness that comes from empathy and from love and from caring.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I also think that you played the piano. I agree, it probably played a huge role. I myself kind of like forgot about my creativity. I suppressed it for so long that it kind of like, it took very long time for me to, okay, so what do I want to do? And I wanted to be so creative. I didn't want to have any meetings scheduled or anything. I wanted to be, like free like a bird. But I think it is so important to be able to merge these two things, the analytical with the masculine, feminine, and the creativity in one kind of like in the beings that we are, with probably some kind of like leaning in one way or the other. We have a couple of comments here from Inger. But with persistence and dedication, you can achieve your goals and create a brighter future for yourself. Yeah, definitely agree. And then let's click the next one here. Remember that stepping into the future can be a process, and it may take time and effort to get where you want to be. I definitely agree. And the reason why we decided to go with this topic is actually you and I had a discussion, Dr. Hynd, is it a week ago? I don't remember.
I think it was exactly a week ago. Yeah,
exactly a week ago, where when we finished our chat, we had a little bit of an offline discussion, and you said it is so important to forgive and forget your past so that you can really step into the new you and accept, kind of like probably accept a little bit what happened. But can you, if we go back a little bit, depending on what has happened, but if we take the example of someone who has lost their job, who might be very resentful currently, they spend a lot of the whole career in that position, and now all of a sudden they are like, doesn't know where to go. What would you say? What would be the best way to kind of like move into the right direction?
Well, I mean, I teach that a lot, and I think there is a very clear cycle of grief that we all go through. And I think losing something, losing a job, losing money, losing your companies, I mean, this happens to everyone. And I think we should be very, very clear about naming it as failure or a change, because it's not. And we all, even the highest, leaders, I mean, myself, I've gone through times in my career where it was really tough and hard. I mean, I've been an entrepreneur since 2014, and I've gone through many, many challenges. There was a time where I lost it all and I had to rebuild it again. And I think the fact that you go through phases, that means that you are actually experiencing what it takes to raise up to a higher level. And I always see that if you are faced with difficulties, if you are faced with losing a job, it's not the end at all. And often you hear it from people who have lost it all. And when they are able to stand back up, when they come and tell you that maybe it's a blessing in disguise, because when you think you lost it all, there will be a moment, even if you have a tiny light that still you hold on to, like just being able to wake up in a cozy home and feel that you have the minimum requirement to feel okay, then you are fill yourself with so much gratitude. Because often what happens is that when we are filled with the rage from losing something, we embody those very negative emotions and negative feelings. And so we feel that, we suffer through that because it's very painful. We even, we start by blocking it. It's like, no, it's not even true. It's like you deny it. You wake up, you're like, I hope it's just a nightmare. And you are into that denial, but that's one phase. Then you go into being so outraged and hating everyone, hating the job, hating the employees, hating everybody. These are phases, and it's okay to go through them. But you want to let yourself go through them with your reasoning, because there will be a point where you reach very bottom and you're really sad and sorry for yourself. But you can choose to either stay in the victimization mode and be sorry for a long time and just sit there, or you can decide that the same way you got that job, you'll find a better one. The same way you made those money, you're going to make them again. And the same way you were able to be happy and get the interviews and go through, there is another place waiting for you, much better than this one. And when you are able to put yourself behind that you're going to be okay no matter what, you bring yourself back into a neutral position, emotional position. And that's what you want, because more you are feeling bad, horrible, guilty, shamed, anger, all those horrible emotions, more you will be attracting more of them, because that's the frequency and energetics. It took me many years before understanding that. But one thing is for sure, and that's scientific. I'm an engineer, so no matter what I do, even though I work in self-development, I work with soft skills, I am backed with physics and energetics. And the physics are saying, and that's Albert Einstein, whatever you want to see in your life, match the frequency of what you want to see. So if you are a match of a frequency of anger, of hate, of rage, of just like, that's what you're going to attract in your life. So if you're watching us today, maybe that's a sign for you. Stop being matched with the frequency of anger and rage. Stop now. Just take the decision that you have more that you can create in your life. And the very fact that you have a connection and you can listen to this, that's a sign to be grateful for. And the moment you start seeing that, it's the moment you start letting yourself coming out of that very negativity. And forgiveness is a start for you letting go of the rage. And forgiveness, as you mentioned, Josefine, we talked about it last time, because forgiveness is that's the link that is often missing between someone who wants to move on and someone who carries all those heavy bags and responsibilities and hatred, because we see a lot of that. Put those things down, let go of them, lighten up, and you'll feel.
Yeah, we have a lot of comments coming in, so I will bring them out one by one. So there are there are, I think you mentioned the cycle of grief, and I think that is so important to really let yourself grieve, because it is grief, and independent of what has happened, or if you're moving out of, or were moved out of a certain situation, then let that grief be there for a while, but you need to move to the next step, as you say, because as long as you stay in that situation, it will feel as if it is kind of like it's holding you back. So we have here, let me see, we have a lot of comments here. We start with Christine's comment here. I read lately, transform the struggles of your past into the strengths of your future. How to distinguish between behavior that is no longer acceptable and resourceful behavior.
So let me read this. I read lately, transform the struggles of your past into the strength of your future. How to distinguish between behavior that is no longer acceptance and resourceful behavior. I love this, Christine. This is such a powerful question. And, to use your struggle, can you pull it back up? Because I can't see it.
Sorry. Sorry.
No, because what I wanted to, because there was 2 steps in her question, really. The one is to transform the struggles of your past into your strength. And what does it mean? It's really how to transform the rage from those struggles, the hurt from the struggles, into your strength, and into the strength that can makes you vibe forward. And I think you can pull it, you can take it out, and I will answer to the different ones. Often you see that the incredible stories of success comes from people who have lost it all or didn't have anything, and then they came up creating something incredible.
Yeah.
And the one, why is this happening? It doesn't mean that if you really want to go high and create something big, you have to lose everything. That's not what it means. But what it means for these ones is that when they lost it all, they realize they can still feel okay no matter what. And when you have that feeling that you're okay no matter what, you are more inclined and ready to take risk, and you let go of the fear of doing. A lot of time people don't move forward because they are scared of feeling the same things again. They're not even scared of being losing or failure, but they're scared of how can they handle themselves, and if they can go through the suffering again. It's the being scared of those emotions that blocks people. But when you understand that you're okay, and those struggles and those emotions and those rage, you can actually turn them into a strength that will help you vibe forward. And how do you do that? You can do it through promising yourself, I will create so much wealth that nobody can ever imagine possible. I will raise up, and if they made me lose job, I will be creating job for people. This is a promise. When you make yourself that promise, no one can shake that again. And every goal you put, every step you took, you will put it inside that bigger promise. So if there is struggle, it's okay. It's part of the path. You are moving forward to something so big that it's not going to be smooth like a Disney World train. It's going to be go up and down and up and down. And you get so ready for that. Yeah. And that comes from your real deep inside wisdom that you were able to extract from the hurt. Because the hurt, when you contemplate it, when you sit with yourself and understand it, you'll find wisdom in it. You'll find there is something that was ignited in you and you didn't even know. And so that is how you turn the struggle into your force to move forward. I mean, it's much longer than that, but that there is a way.
It's a first step, yeah. And also to use those, because as you say, you always have these people who have lost it all and have created wealth in different variations. Use them as inspiration and don't be envious of them, but use them as inspiration, because if they can do it, everyone can do it, right? Yeah. We have a couple more really interesting comments. I will bring out one here from Alessandra. There is a deep, insidious, and invisible connection that exists when you're attached to a narcissist. I think that was, I'll just let that excuse me, that's not really a question. It's more like a general comment.
Yeah, and I think it's true. And in those type of situations, when you are with someone who has a sickness, it's a sickness. You do not let that eat your energy up. You have to connect to that person and see the human behind it, because he's a human with a sickness. So you do not carry the rage from the hurt you've gone through because of that. You just let go of it, because why would you be upset against someone who has a sickness? Why would you let yourself be completely disturbed by someone who has something that is out of his own control? You let go. You truly let go. You turn the page, you forgive, you let go. Because if you don't, you'll be the one carrying all those negative emotions that are dragging you down, and they'll drag you forever. The only way to lighten up is really by letting go.
Yeah, and also maybe remember that when you are in such situations, it could be in a toxic relationship or in a toxic environment, you might not even notice until you're out of that environment. And that is then also to kind of like let that come to you, but not dwell on it for too long. So we have a couple more comments here. I'll not bring out everyone because we need to round this off, because you and I have a different meeting coming up that we need to
That's
take.
right.
We have someone from,
Hey.
we have Cheryl here from watching us from YouTube. So hi, it's lovely to have you here. And here we have a comment. Things I say that help me. I've done it before. I can do it again, or this will pass. Maybe like a kidney stone, but it will pass. Yeah, that's a good.
I think, it will pass, because when you let emotions pass, it's like it's different stages, right? Because if it's difficulties from job, the job, you'll find another one. So it will pass, because you will get yourself back up. You will train yourself again the same way you got the first one. You're going to get a better one. And it's you to motivate yourself. So it's like you want to play the cheerleader role to yourself, because the moment you start putting yourself down, what are you going to let others do for you? You have to cheer yourself up before, so that you can attract more of that from outside. And then the second level, from an emotional point of view, is that it will pass. Any emotion will pass. You can cry yourself. You can put the music and cry and put the flowers and just feel sad. It will pass. You can just stay crying forever. It will just pass. Let it pass. Because blocking it is the one that creates more anger and more rage and more hatred towards yourself, because that's what we do, unfortunately. But then when you let go and you understand that these emotions will definitely pass, and just be aware of them passing, you become more aware of them. And that's part of your emotional intelligence. This is one of the things I teach a lot in our programs, is really about how to master the emotions, and what are the tools behind you becoming so aware of your emotional intelligence and using it. And that will impact not only your professional life, but your personal life, and also your well-being. Like your joy of life, your joie de vivre will be completely shifted when you start understanding what to do with the emotions.
Yeah. So I think we should start rounding this up. If there are any additional questions that come, please add them. If you're watching this as a replay, please add hashtag replay, so that Dr. Hynd and I can follow up on these questions. There were some questions, we picked up all the questions, but there were some comments that we haven't shown because we wouldn't have had time to go through them all. So thank you, each and every one of you who have been with us live here today. It's been a pleasure. So Dr. Hynd, how can people connect with you after this? To learn more about you and what you do?
Well, okay, so we have a seminar happening soon. If you are a French speaker, there is a seminar starting on Monday. It's a seminar to celebrate being a woman. So it's really more about feminine energy and emotions. And we have also a seminar in April in English, where we'll be talking about what I truly believe is the triad of prosperity and of success, where it covers strategy, mindset, and energetics. So I will go into the detail with that. You can follow me on LinkedIn. Dr. Hynd Bouhia. We have also a Facebook group, Femme Leader. Femme Leader. It's like both mixed French and English. And I'm on YouTube, and I am a friend of Josefine, so you can find me through Josefine.
Yeah, and we have Christine say merci beaucoup. That's probably the only thing I can in French.
Magnifique. Super. But
Yeah.
Christine, you're welcome to come into the masterclass happening on Monday, actually, March 6th. So you'll see it on my page on Facebook, on LinkedIn today.
That is so cool. So, and I have a workshop too coming up, but that is later in March.
When is your workshop?
It's 21st, 22nd, 23rd of March. And I'm really excited about it too, because it's a totally new workshop. I've never done that one before. So that is going to be really, really cool. We're kind of like sending out emails and posting about it. So
nice. Congratulations. That's very good.
Yeah,
amazing.
It's really exciting. So thank you all so much for being here with us today, and see you all again. Actually, tomorrow, I have my next live tomorrow, because we had to squeeze in a couple more, because these are so exciting and I love to share these messages with everyone. So we have another one tomorrow at 5 o'clock. I will start promoting it after my next meeting. So see you all, and thank you so much.
All right.